Hey, it's Nyx. Welcome to my channel. I'm not here trying to be perfect. I'm not here to give you answers. I believe everyone's recovery is something personal and something that we have to figure out ourselves. However, I can share my insights, my knowledge, and my perspective on my recovery. I believe perspective shapes reality. I've been stuck so long in the victim mindset that I was thinking that the whole world owned me something. It wasn't the case. I experienced that I needed to take the responsibility of my own recovery. I needed to look inside myself and I needed to do the shadow work. I needed to get to know myself. My identity was only my traumas. I was sincerely believing that I couldn't ever be more than just the pain, the hurt, and the tears that I felt from people who had fragmented my soul, defragmented my soul. I'm sorry. So I was choosing for my healing. And from the moment that I decided enough is enough, no more, I started to come back to my power. I started to come back to safety inside myself. You see, my life was very unsafe, and I always learned to read the room, read the energies, read the expressions of people. I needed to adjust over and over again, and that resulted in me having this intense identity trauma crisis. I name it like that because I was not myself. All the things that I did, I came to recognize it was from unhealed trauma. I was, for example, right? Like when I was in a relationship, I was out of a relationship. I directly stepped into a new relationship, right? I came to recognize that it was something that I was filling up. I missed in myself the love, and I thought someone else could give it to me, and then I should feel complete, right? But it isn't how it worked. I I experienced that it's better for me to first heal the holes inside of me that other people made, right? It's not a it's not an easy road. I can tell you this. I think people need healing. I think the world needs some love and some compassion. Um, I think that we as humanity are very harsh and critical towards other people, but not only that, also towards ourselves. When I felt anger, I there was a time when I suppressed that anger and I was like, no, anger is a bad emotion. I can't feel that. Or when I wanted to cry, like, no, don't cry, don't cry, don't show that you're weak. Well, crying isn't something that someone does out of weakness. Crying is something that we need to do in order to process the things that we're feeling. For me, my healing is loud. My healing is meant to be loud. And I think your healing is also meant to be loud. Healing is change. And change is always loud. Change is also necessary. And if you're scared for change, then let me say this to you, please. Hear what I say. Change is the only thing that's constant in our lives. We're changing by the day, and it's not something bad if you're changing for your own good, right? Like, I think healing is something that we have to do for ourselves. I think we can do it for other people because we don't want to burden them with our traumas or with our irrational behavior. But that's a layer, right? Like under that layer, it's so very important that you come to that point of self-love. And I think a lot of people are stuck there because a lot of people are taught that when you're in when you use substances, for example, you go to rehab, you come out, and then everything is okay, and you can go on your merry way. But that isn't how it works. Like when you come out of rehab, it's only the beginning because in the rehab, you're safe. You have like the tools and you have the people around you who know better. But then you come home and you're still stuck in that same environment. You're still stuck with the same feelings that are laying underneath the reason for you to use those substances. And it can be with everything, right? It can be with like sex addiction, gamble addiction. It's so very right. I see people around me who are destructive, very self destructive. I see people around me who can't handle the weight of the world anymore, and I'm not blaming them. It's a lot to be carrying the weight of the world, or at least to have that feeling. I am here because I want to change your perspective on trauma, on healing. Not sincere, not as well changing as I would like to show you my opinions about that. I did a lot of my healing myself. I've been diagnosed with CPTSD, I've been diagnosed with PPD, and it was a very hellish ride for me to come here, to be on this point. But now I am on this point, and I want to show other people that they can also get to that point. I remember when I felt so alone in the world and I was thinking like there's no place for me here in this world. I'm way too sensitive. I feel everything and I see the people who are lying, right? The people who are faking it, and it seems like every time the injustice wins. That was for me very heavy to be witnessing and especially to be silenced every time. Because if there's one thing that I always will speak up for, it is justice. I don't think that we have, I don't believe in looking down on people because they are living their life differently than I am living my life. I mean, I am very different from society in itself, right? So I am not in any place to judge. I won't ever speak down on people who are saying that they have a lot of things going on. I will always speak, I will always call people out on their bullshit because I think that we as a collective have to do that. We're not in a time anymore that we can ignore our pain. We're not in a time that we can ignore our traumas. We are entering a time where healing is necessary. I mean, everyone has pain, everyone has grief, and everyone hurts, right? Society out there, it's crazy enough on itself. So I think that we should start with ourselves. I believed I had to start with myself in order to heal and in order to be the one that I was meant to be. And it's a long road, it is, of course, but it's not a road that you have to walk alone. It's a road that is walked all it's walked by so many people already. And the only person that can keep you away from your own healing is you. I know we live in a society where people are very much enabled in their behaviors, like, oh, that's just how that person is, or you know better than to take it seriously, but that's not my way of living. I am very much against people who behave like that, and I'm not one for excuses, right? I had to take responsibility over my own recovery, and that meant that I had to face my own excuses, the parts where I was lying in myself. And because of that, I think it's not bad for me to get to call them out on their behavior, because I feel like I've did the work necessary to do for me to say it to you, right? If that makes sense. For me, healing meant being honest towards myself. It meant calling out the patterns that I was stuck in, and it meant that I was asked to look at my mindset, because I believe, and I see 333, 4 times 3 on the timer. I believe that we're living in three worlds. I came to see that trauma defragmented my soul, so I had to fix myself on a soul level, right? I came to notice that trauma affected my mindset, the way I was feeling. I've had depressions. I've been so lost in in my own head, and I came to see that I had to fix it on a mental level. And just last year, I experienced that my body, my nervous system, s- still remembered the trauma, and I came to see that I had to tend to to my body also, and that makes three. That makes it a spiritual world, a bodily world, and a physical world in which healing is necessary.